Well, good afternoon and welcome to Listen at Lunch. My name is Carrie Blake and I'm here with a wonderful demonstration for you today. I know you're going to love it. Today is about gift giving or gifts of thanks, and I'm going to show you a simple way to make a wonderful gift card holder for a lucky recipient. Listen, you know hand-making cards is such a wonderful feeling for both you and the recipient. It's therapeutic and it brings joy to the lives of other people. I gave my daughter a box of handmade cards to give to her boyfriend's mom for me as a thank you. And I followed up with my daughter and I said, hey, did she like the cards? And she said, oh my gosh, Mom, I forgot to tell you. She couldn't believe that you made them. They were just beautiful. She loved them. So the cards I gave her were just like the ones I've shared with you. And today's project is another episode where it's really a good one because you'll be making a gift card holder, not only a handmade card, but also it'll hold a gift card to give to someone special. So let's jump right in. You really don't need a whole lot of supplies. What you do need is a full sheet of cardstock. Oh, first I'm going to show you the product medley that I'm going to work with too. Let's do that. I chose the Boho Indigo product medley to show you because every piece in this product medley that you can either buy as a full set and then you can buy a refill kit, which I'll show you here. In this kit, you get 2 bolts of ribbon. You get this beautiful photopolymer stamp set called Boho Indigo, which is absolutely gorgeous. You get these die cuts that coordinate with it. And these die cuts cut out this gorgeous package of paper that you also get here. There are tons of sheets. This is found on page 9 of the annual catalog, and it's called the Boho Indigo product medley. These papers are fabulous, and you get, oh gosh, like 6 or 8 sheets of each pattern. You get 8 sheets of each pattern, and of course they're double-sided. So you flip them over and you've got all these other designs here too. So these are wonderful. This is Misty Moonlight and Night of Navy. Very vanilla and white. And I'm not sure if you can see these. Let me lift up my light here. Because these are textured. Maybe that helps a little bit. These are textured, very vanilla card pieces that are 6x6. So you have this diamond, you have these cute flowers, you have these circles. This kind of reminds me of Led Zeppelin's, John Bonham's symbol. All these, I'm a Led Zeppelin nut. All these circles, it's so pretty. So this is dry embossed on here. So you get these 6 sheets, and then you also get all these tags. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? But that's not all. So in addition to all this and the papers, you also get these packages of pretty little, they're like felt, vellum type felt flowers with beads on them. You get 2 different sizes. We're going to be working with these today too. These are so cute. Okay, so that's our product medley. And it's called the Boho Indigo. So that's what I've chose today to make our wonderful gift card holder. So we'll set these aside now and we'll get back to them soon. The first thing you're going to need is your paper trimmer and a full sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I don't know why I'm putting that all away because I need it. All right, so you take your full sheet of cardstock, you take your paper trimmer, you're going to come here and you're going to put your paper long ways at 4 1/4, so basically you're cutting it in half long ways. So you're going to get 2 gift card holders out of 1 sheet of 8.5 by 11. When you're using your paper trimmer, be sure to just pull. Do not push down on the blade. just pull it. And that way your blade doesn't dig down into the grid down below the guide and dull your blade faster. And I'm going to tell you that every time I do this. Okay, so one of these we're just going to set aside because we're just going to make one for right now. But remember, you can get 2 out of 1 sheet of cardstock. So we've just cut it in half. Now we're going to want to move that blade out of the way because we're going to do some scoring. So we're going to take it long ways. And we're going to bring it in, and our first score is going to be at 4 1/4. So you just line that up there and just run your score blade, which is the lighter blade. You're going to run your score blade at 4 1/4. Then you're going to run it at 5 1/2. And then for ease, I want you to take it out, turn it around, and score it at 4 1/4 again. Okay, so now you have 3 scores of 4 1/4, 5 1/2, and actually this is 6 3/4. But I just flipped it around and did 4 1/4 on each side and then 5 1/2 in the middle. Make sense? Okay, now we can set this aside. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our bone folder and we're going to come in and we're going to fold this like a zigzag fold. We're going to fold it back and forth and take your bone folder and do it nice and crisp and then fold this down over the top. Okay, and there you have your base of your card. Now, how's it going to be a gift card holder, you say? Well, see this middle portion here? We're going to take this, and we're taking the classic label punch, and we're going to, once it's folded in half, I want you to take this label punch and see how there's points at each end. We're going to line up right in the center. This is a perfect punch to line up. I'm going to line up my cardstock first on the edge of the cardstock here at the edge of the punch, and then I'm going to move it down so that my fold is right in between the center points of this punch, and then you're just going to punch it out. Okay, then you're going to go across and do the same thing on the other side. You're only going to go, now this is how I do it, you're only going to go up to the cardstock edge. So the edge of your paper is right at the edge of your punch. Make sense? And we're going to punch that out. Just the one side. Now you've got this. Not quite big enough, or wide enough I should say, to slip your card in, but we've gone to the edges. If you were to just do it, just to wing it and try to figure out where to go, you might go off and it might be all crooked and it just won't look pretty. So the reason that I had you go to the edge of your cardstock is now you're going to come back in and you're just going to go a little ways, just a little ways more, and center it up in the center. See how I'm doing that? Just a little bit. And we're going to do that on both ends. Let's take that out. And we're going to come back and do it here, kind of about the same amount. Okay, and we're going to cut that off, and this should be just perfect. If I was just gonna try to wing it, I'd be so afraid that I would get too far off on one edge. So that's how I'm doing it, and let me show you with the little gift card that I have that this is going to work perfect. Here's my, come on, gift card. All right, here's my gift card. So you can see, you're going to be able to slip, oh, come on. There we go. You're going to be able to slip your gift card right in there. Okay, so that's where your gift card's going to go. Now, we want to secure this, and I suggest you use, you can use Stampin Seal along here. The Stampin Seal Plus is great for 3D projects. So I'm going to use the Stampin Seal along the edges here, right at the very edge. And if you go over, that's okay, just kind of fold it in. The Stampin Seal Plus is super strong and great for boxes and something of this sort. Okay, we'll fold that in. Now if I'm not going to put ribbon across here, and you'll see as we move along, I'm going to put a little tiny bit of, you don't want to put tape in here because your card's going to get stuck to it. So you don't want to use Stampin Seal Plus in here, but you do want something so the card doesn't slip all the way through unless you're using ribbon. So just in case I decide I don't want to use ribbon, I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of glue here, just along the very edge, very, very narrow. And then we're going to fold this up. Okay. Oh, and I should have had my mat down. My silicone mat was right here. I was going to use it. Please be sure to have a mat down so you don't muck up your surface with any glue that overlaps. Okay, this will take just a couple minutes to dry. No big deal. But now you've got your edges all sealed up. So now when you stick your card in, after that glue is dry, it's not going to come out the end, the open end this way. All right? Okay, so now what are we going to do? We're going to decorate. So here's what, oopsie daisy. Little glitch here on the side. Okay, so now I've cut a piece of very vanilla cardstock to 4x4, and this is going to fit across the front. And I want to decorate my front using the Boho Indigo stamp set, and I've chosen this vase. I'm going to make this a bunch of birthday love to you, and I'm going to stamp some flowers and a little ditty there too. So I've also cut a piece of cardstock that I'm going to use for my border down at the bottom. So I'm just going to leave that on there so that I know my measurements along the bottom. I'm going to take my Stampin Pierce Mat. That's 126199 for $5. You need this Stampin Pierce Mat because it's a great cushion for the photopolymer stamps since they do not have the foam pad that our red rubber has. You want to have this. So when you're stamping, you get a really good image. I also want a scrap sheet of paper because I'm going to be stamping off. I'm going to be using Old Olive, Misty Moonlight, and Night of Navy today for my colors. And here's some scrap paper. So I'm bringing this scrap paper in so that I can stamp off. So let's move this over. And you'll see what I'm doing. So I'm using this pretty vase, but I think it's going to be way too dark because this is such a juicy pad. It's going to be way too dark if I just stamp it this way. So I'm going to stamp off. And then I'm going to huff it. And then I'm going to stamp it right here. Maybe a little too far over, but I think we'll be okay. So there we have the pretty vase. That looks fine. Okay, so I did stamp off. I inked it up, I stamped off before I stamped it on here. All right, that takes care of the vase. Next, I'm going to stamp some pretty little flowers. And these are going to be stamped in Misty Moonlight, which matches my designer series paper, or what we call DSP for short. And I'm going to ink up my flowers. Now, I think they're going to be too dark too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp off, and I'm actually going to rub this. This is the first time I'm using this stamp. So just to get a super clean image, I'm just going to kind of rub off if there is a little bit of a film before you use it. I'm going to rub that film off. So let me ink this back up again, tapping it. And the photopolymer is great because you can see if you're missing, if you were lopsided when you were inking up, if you can see if you missed a spot with ink. Okay, now I'm going to stamp off. And then I'm going to come back here over top of my vase, and I'm going to stamp it. My name is Carrie, my name is Carrie, my name is Carrie. Voila! See how pretty that is? It's a little bit softer. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. Next, we're going to do our greeting, and I chose A Bunch of Birthday Love to You, and I'm going to stamp that in Night of Navy because I want that to be bold, because I want that to stand out. All right, so I'm going to ink this up. And you can see it's all inked up and ready to go. Because it's a photopolymer stamp, we can see exactly where you're going to stamp it. So I'm going to line this up so it's centered, hopefully. My name is Carrie, my name is Carrie, my name is Carrie. Do not rock and roll. Beautiful. Came out great. Okay, then I'm going to go back. We are not done yet. I'm going to go back because there's this little tiny stamp that is so cute. And I think I'm going to put it on the top and the bottom of my greeting. And it is adorable. And I'm going to stamp off on this as well. So ink it up with, I'm inking it up with Misty Moonlight. I'm going to stamp it off, and then I'm going to stamp it here. Right about in the center below. Cute. I'm going to do it again at the top. Ink it up, stamp it off. Boom. Oh, so pretty. Okay, still not done. We're pretty much done stamping. But something else I want to do, but we're going to do that last. Let's add this paper to the bottom. So you can use Stampin Seal, you can use Multipurpose liquid glue, which I think I'm going to use. And I cut it a little bit longer than I needed, so I'm going to trim some off. And the reason I like to use the Multipurpose liquid glue is because you have room to, you have time, I should say, to move it if you need to. So I'm going to turn my paper up straight like so, and I'm going to add my paper right along over the top, and now it's even with the bottom. See how that works? But I've got too much, so I'm going to let that sit for a second, and then I'm going to trim off the excess on the edges. I think it's probably ready. Get out my paper snips. And you could use your paper trimmer too. I'm just not steady with the paper trimmer to get little tiny pieces like this, so I like my paper snips for details. Just go right along the cardstock and snip that off. Okay, and the next thing I want to do is I want to add some ribbon. So I can't decide if I want to add, I think I'm just going to add this beautiful linen thread. You know how I like to have my bows go right side up, so I'm going to wrap this around a couple times and overlap. Like so. Scrunch it down. I think I'm going to put my bow like right in the center. So I'm going to tie this in a knot, because bows are much easier after you've tied a knot. And yes, I have a lot of practice at these bows, but that still doesn't mean I don't make mistakes. Okay, so I just tied my knot. Now I'm going to make my bow, and I'm doing it upside down because when you tie your bows upside down, your little tails end up flowing to the right angle. So look at that, so pretty. I'll just trim off the edges, make this a little bit smaller. I think that's pretty. All right, there we go. Now, we could go ahead and put this on our card and be done, But I think I would like to add some of this gorgeous ribbon that comes in the Boho Indigo Product Medley Kit. Cut off this film because this is the first time I've used it. And we're done stamping, so we can set those aside. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add this. I'm going to cut a piece that is long enough to go around my card so that I can tie a bow. And it can be closed shut. And yes, I'm actually going to cut my ribbon before I tie my bow. For this, I like to secure my ribbon when I'm done. I bought these cute little short pearl-ended pins. And I like to stick a pearl-ended pin right in there so it keeps my ribbon from coming undone. So I store it that way. Here's my blue ribbon, which is gorgeous too. Okay, so now we've got these pieces, this piece that I'm going to tie a bow with. And I want to secure this ribbon to the front of my card. So I'm going to use the Stampin Seal Plus, and I'm just going to do a little portion in the middle. Okay, are we opening it the right way? Yes, we are. Okay, so now I've secured it here. I'm also going to do it on the back. Now you can do it right on the ribbon, but I'm not really good at that. So I'm going to wing it here and just put a little bit. You could also use glue dots. That would look very good as well. But that's the perfect width for this ribbon, so it stays secure and doesn't fly around. Okay, so now you have your pieces. And so this will be what keeps your card closed, and it's a surprise. So now we can put this on here, and I think what I'll do is, instead of taping it down directly, I think I'll just pop this up with some dimensionals. Making sure I don't put any in the middle because it'll hit the ribbon. And I think they don't like each other. I don't think ribbons and dimensionals like each other. So let's see. Putting all these, I'm going to use about 6. Maybe more. Of course you want them in the 4 corners. And your ribbon's going to go right here. So I think we're good. Let's use 2 more. Let's put one right there. Getting all these little hairs on my fingers from the glue. And one up here. Okay, and I learned a new trick. Lisa Curcio showed me a trick that I want to show you. So instead of trying to peel off these little back pieces, she took the Take Your Pick tool and she put the spatula inside and used her piercer, and she just poked a hole and pulled these off the top. And once you get the hang of it, woo, it's fun. So this is another great idea to use your Take Your Pick tool for. So just pulled those right off. Okay, and making sure that I'm opening it correctly. Gonna line this up and pop it right on the front of my card. My gift card holder. And voila, we have this pretty gift card holder. And let's tie a bow. I did that kind of lopsided, so I'm going to be cutting a little bit off. Let's go this way. It's going to be a little bow. Put the excess on the wrong end. All right, there we go. We have a little lopsided bow. That's okay, you can cut it down. Isn't that sweet? So now you have a gift card holder. Now, remember, you don't have to, but what you should do is also cut out 2 more pieces of 4x4 cardstock. Maybe the designer series paper you could put on one side, and then the other side you could put another piece of vanilla to be able to write your little sentiment inside. And then you're going to stick your gift card right there, and voila, you have this darling gift card holder to give to someone special, and they are gonna love it. I guarantee it. Okay, so that's the one we made, and of course I have other samples to show you. Here's one my team leader Rhonda made for me. Isn't that adorable? She used the vellum lace doilies. Excuse me. Now, I also want to remind you that this fits perfectly. This is a Whisper White envelope. You could use very vanilla. This fits perfectly right in an envelope, too. So you can send that out. You can mail it. Or you can, you know, just hand it to the person. But it fits perfectly in one of our gorgeous envelopes, too. So be sure to stamp your envelope to match. Oh, you know what I forgot? Holy cow. I forgot that I wanted to put some of these really cute little tiny felt flowers on my card too. Shame on me. All right, here we go. So I've got a couple big ones. And I'm going to put one here. I already put these on glue dots, these big ones. Okay, and I think I want 3 little ones too. So I'm going to pop out 3 little ones. And my mini glue dots. And I'm going to press down really hard on this glue dot. And then peel it off. There's one, covering up the little gaps of where I don't have flowers here. 2, maybe I'll just leave it like that. Yeah, looks good. Don't need a 3rd. So now you've got some other little dimension, and these are just gorgeous little flowers, and these come both in the product medley kit as a whole, and also they come in the refill kit with a package of the designer series papers. So you definitely want to order these. Gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, here's a couple more that I made. This one I used for, oh, wait a second. I gotta show you the one I made with the Boho Indigo. And I didn't even put a sentiment on it. But isn't that pretty? I used the braided linen thread, and I also used just regular linen thread and a couple pieces of the designer series paper. Boom. Easy peasy. Doesn't need a sentiment. It's just pretty just like that. And then you can write whatever you want or stamp whatever you want on the inside. Yep. Gorgeous. Okay, now I'll show you. Forever Fern is an absolutely stunning stamp set because these are like distinctive stamps because they look real when you stamp them. So this is a great bundle with some matching die cuts if you want to get the bundle, or if you just want to get the stamp set. These sentiments are beautiful and these are gorgeous. You've seen me do projects with these. So I made a card with this one, and of course I used my favorite colors: Pretty Peacock, Old Olive, and Soft Seafoam. So there's a sample for you. And the last one that I have is using the fancy phrases. And I got fancy with this one because I took the watercolor paper that we have and I stamped with StazOn and colored in with my watercolor pencils and then used a blender pen to really get the softness of the watercolor. Isn't it gorgeous? So these are really fun, and they're super easy to make, and they're going to bring joy to you and to the recipient. So thank you for watching this. I hope you like the cards, the gift card holders that I've made. I have always found both my real estate and my Stampin' Up! Jobs are blessings. In both of them, I get to help people and I get to bring joy to their life. And with Stampin' Up! I'm especially blessed because thanks to you, my customers and my friends and my team too, I have the opportunity to earn this incentive trip to Maui in 2021. I'm gonna cry. I don't want to do that. I'm so excited, but I'm not there yet, and I need your help. I need approximately 4,200 in sales before the end of September, and it's a hefty number, and it really pains me to like ask you for help. But if you like what you see and you would make a purchase with me, I'm going to send you thank you gifts because I'm just so excited. I'm so close and I really want to go. So if you love these products and you love what I've shown you, if you place a $35 order with me before Tuesday, our next Listen at Lunch, I'm going to send you 2 of these gorgeous gift card holders as a thank you. With a $50 order, I'm going to send you 2 of these gift card holders, and I'm going to send you a tutorial with 15 other projects and instructions that are really fun, gorgeous, different. Some are boxes, some are cards. You'll really enjoy that. If you spend $100 with me as your demonstrator, I'll send you a bolt of ribbon, the tutorials, and 2 gift card holders. If you spend $150 with me, you get Stampin' Rewards. Plus, I'm going to give you a package of 6x6 designer series paper. It's a mix of a whole bunch of different papers. A bolt of ribbon. You'll still receive that. You'll still receive the tutorial and 2 gift card holders. Plus, you'll earn Stampin' Rewards because an order of 150 or more earns you free product with Stampin' Up! Too. So please contact me to place your order if you need help, or if you're tech savvy and you've done this before, please be sure to go to my website, carryout.stampinup.net, and use this host code, and I would so appreciate it. All right, thanks for joining me. Stay well and be blessed.